Yo, what's up, family? It's King Leon X, the human liberated. Hold up, let's see. I don't think those work. Okay, I didn't think those work. Anyway, this is Take Charge of Your Life. This is episode 75. Episode 75 of Take Charge of Your Life. It's our midday self-mastery, self-motivation series where we investigate the strategies, the tactics, and processes that are available to us to implement to measurably increase the quality of our life. We talk about taking charge of our life. We make the choice. We don't have to find alternative ways of living, thinking, believing, and executing. We don't have to find alternative ways of earning compensation. We choose to. You see, we chose to. And so this is something that's extremely important to me. And this is episode 75. So if I say something that resonates with you, you go ahead and type "make the choice." All right. So we've been talking about the fundamentals like ever since last week. We've been talking about the fundamentals and the half a dozen things that are necessary in order for us to accomplish our goals. We were talking about the 5 key words. The first word was fundamentals. The second was wealth. We talked about wealth being a study, right? If we want to be wealthy, study wealth. Happiness was the next one was happiness. We talked about happiness being a study. If we want to be happy, we have to study happiness, right? Just like if you wanted to be a brain surgeon, you have to study neurology, right? Or if you wanted to be a architect, you have to study architecture. If you wanted to be a mathematician, you have to study arithmetic, right? If you wanted to be an engineer, you have to study engineering, right? It's just like if you want to be wealthy, you have to study wealth. You have to study happiness. And then we talked about discipline. Discipline being the bridge between goals and accomplishments. Discipline being that thing that if we don't have discipline, then we're not going to be able to achieve any of our goals or dreams. They're just going to always stay goals and dreams, and we're going to actually delude ourselves into thinking that we're going somewhere when we're actually not. So what we talking about today is success. We talking about success being a study, and so we've been reading out of Jim Rohn, 7 Strategies of Wealth and Happiness. 7 Strategies for Wealth and Happiness is what we've been doing. We've been reading out of Jim Rohn, and I want to continue. We're finishing we're finishing the introduction actually, and then we're going right into chapter 1 next week or tomorrow, matter of fact. But so we talking about success today. We talking about success, and success is that 5th key word. And like each of the components already discussed, those components being fundamentals, wealth, happiness, and discipline, success has multiple layers of meanings. Success is an elusive notion. It's a paradox. After all, it is both a journey and a destination. Right? So success is a journey and a destination. Success, just like so we talk about success being a journey and a destination. It's like God or the source being your goal and the process to achieving your goal. Right? The goal and the accomplishment is all one. There's no outside to it. Success is the journey to the goal and the destination of it. Right? Isn't success the journey and the destination? Because if I set out to do something, if I set out a goal to accomplish it, the day that I start taking action on it is a part of the whole goal being complete. It's a part of that completion process. It is. Right? And so success is steady, measured progress toward a goal and the achievement of a goal. So think about this. Success is the steady, measurable progress towards a goal and the achievement of a goal, right? The measured progress, right? The only way we can measure progress is if we're clear and specific about what we want. We have dates attached to it, obstacles that we have to overcome. We have milestones, right? And all of these other little different types of things. We're gonna get clearer and clearer about goal setting and achievement and all these other different types of things as we go along. But success is the measured progress towards the goal and the achievement of the goal. So this is why I had made a live video yesterday on my other account where it's talking about making sure you have to learn to love the process, like the process to go or to accomplish all you want to accomplish. Your idea, like the end result, the dream manifested, it wouldn't be on your heart, it wouldn't be on your mind if you didn't already have the ability to achieve that. And so no one else since it came to you, it didn't come to anyone else, right? So you start trying to tell other people about your goal or your dream and these types of things, and they might think you crazy. They might not resonate with that because it didn't come to them. It didn't come to them. It came to you. And so it's about us defining what success is for us. It's about us investigating in the strategies and the processes and executing tactics that are going to restore our confidence and make us believe in ourselves enough to act on our own purpose and to march into our own reality instead of walking right into other people's limitations. Right? You could either walk into someone's limitations or you could march into your own reality. And I'm here to tell you that whatever it is that your goal is and your biggest dream, I don't know it. Like only you do. Only you know how powerful you are. Only you know how powerful that you could be. Only you know how much value you could bring to the world. Only you know how much and how many ways that you can serve. Only you know that. I don't know that. Okay, but I trust and believe in you, though. I trust and believe that if you trust and believe in yourself and you begin to go to work on a daily basis towards the attainment of your definite goal, you will accomplish it. I know for a fact you will, and I know for a fact that as you accomplish your goals and your dreams, the world becomes a better place. I know for a fact as you change your philosophy and your concepts and your ideas and you become a more valuable person, the world changes. I know that as you get better, the world gets better. I know that as a fact. Right? And so success is both success is the steady measured progress toward the goal and the achievement of a goal. If we don't have the goal clearly defined, then we don't evaluate where we are, then we can't measure the progress toward there. So oftentimes it's going to seem like you're spinning your wheels if you don't know how to look at it. Success is both an accomplishment and a wisdom that comes to those who understand the potential power of life. Right? The potential power of life is understanding that right now we got unlimited power at our disposal. Through thought, I can turn thought and I could will the source, God energy, to manifest itself into the physical reality in whatever form of good that I choose. Whatever, I turn my idea, concept, whatever form that I choose. Whatever form, whatever word, right? Whatever form that I choose. That's the power. That's the power. I can determine my reality. I have unlimited access to life substance, to life force. And through my will, my intent, and my deliberate communication with my highest self is going to determine what physical realities I'm going to manifest. But I know that all of this is all the same. It's all energy. It's all vibrations. And that same power is there, just like breath is there. Always, breath is always there at any moment, waiting for me to use for my own benefit. Same thing as the power of creative energy, right? And so that's where real pleasure comes from. Real pleasure comes from turning your ideas to physical things by the work of your hands and productivity. A lot of people get it confused, thinking that pleasure is supposed to come from a woman. Or women get confused and think that pleasure is supposed to come from a man. Nah, pleasure comes from the deliberate execution of a definite purpose, of turning of a manifestation of deliberate choosing and determining our own destiny. You see, this is where real pleasure comes from, and the pleasure of a mate, a pleasure of intercourse, a pleasure of intimacy. Is recreation. It comes after work. It comes after work. Recreation comes after work. Real pleasure comes from productivity. Okay. So success is both an accomplishment and a wisdom that comes to those who understand the potential power of life. I just understood, or just expanded on that. It's the awareness. Success is the awareness of value and the cultivation of worthwhile values through discipline. Right? It's the awareness of value, like the awareness of value, understanding that we don't get paid for time, we get paid for value. We get paid to, when it comes to commerce and economics and shit, we get paid to bring value to the marketplace. Now, there's two types of value. You bring a valuable product or service, or you can become valuable ourselves. But we must know that every single thing that is around us, everything that's tangible, is some sort of value in it, and placed on it is valuable because it started as thought. Like even this pair of scissors, this pair of scissors started as thought, right? This pair of scissors started as thought in the mind of someone, and the finished scissors had to be created in thought. The finished scissors, like the whole blueprint to make these, had to be finished and clear prior to these things even being formed in the physical. You see, anything that we're looking at in the physical is just a result. Same thing with this pen. Same thing, right? Same thing even with this little brochure, this flyer, right? Same thing with this bop it. Bop it, right? This had to be in the mind of someone. Alright, I messed up. Right? That had to be in the mind of someone prior to it. It had to be finished. Like this whole bop it, it had to be clear. No one knew what it was until it was physically manifested. But the person whose brain this thing came to had to see it clearly fulfilled. The outlines and everything. He seen it already done, knew what it felt like, sounded like, all of these other things. So we're here to say that success is both the accomplishment, okay, and the journey to it. Success is both the accomplishment and the wisdom that comes to those who understand the potential power. The potential power is that the same source and force that was used to create this or this or this, the same force that you use to even get dressed today, right? Or to anything. When you use culinary arts, where you create some food where it's like, okay, I want to eat this. And then you go into the kitchen and you take all of these little different things, and then boom, now you have this. Right? That same power, or just like you say anything. We say that we turn our thoughts to physical things all the time. The problem is that we don't recognize that as alchemy. We don't recognize the power that we are really doing. We don't really recognize that as goals fulfilled and dreams accomplished. We're waiting for this big thing or this huge thing to happen that's going to make us love ourselves more. Well, I'm here to tell you that you're never going to love yourself more until you deliberately decide, you feel me, to. You make the choice to. And then you list reasons about yourself why you love yourself, you feel me, not external things. People be judging their life about external things, but those things are temporal. Anything external is temporal, it's temporary. The only things that are eternal are internal. You see? But anyway, success is awareness of value and the cultivation of worthwhile values through discipline. So I was just talking about the awareness of value and how to be aware of value, right? Anybody can see anything, any problem, and then become the solution. We bring a valuable product or service or become valuable ourselves. Or the cultivation of values through worthwhile discipline. So we know discipline is the bridge between goals and accomplishments, and so we know only principles endure. So depending on what we want and our objectives is going to determine what our values are and what we're willing to protect and serve and who we're willing to provide for and all these other different types of things. And those worthwhile values are cultivated through consistent, deliberate action, right? Through discipline. Success is both material and spiritual. Success is both practical and mystical. Right? Because Like, who really knows why? Like, who? Some get the spark. All we know, some do and some don't. You feel me? Some get the spark, some don't. Some people say, "Hey, I'm gonna change my life." Some people say, "Hey, no matter how hard it gets, no matter how bad it is, I'm gonna make it." Some people say, "Hey, man, I'm living for success with significance." Period. Some people say, "Hey, let's get it. Let's go. Let us do this. Let's link arms and charge forward. Let's go. We're gonna win together, or we're gonna die together." You feel me? We're gonna win together or we're gonna lose together, but we're gonna try. We're not gonna die in the bleachers, family. We might, if we're gonna die, we're gonna die on the field. We're gonna be in the game. Some people say that, and other people don't. Who knows why? Some people just like, oh, okay, yeah. All I want is just this little bit and this little bit, and I don't want too much of that, and just a little bit of this and a little bit of that, and I'm never really too clear about what it is that I want, so I don't get my feelings hurt. So then universe is not going to be too clear about what it gives me. And then I'm not going to be able to understand that I'm manifesting all of these things. And it's because of my lack of clarity is the reason why I don't have definiteness in the physical realm. But it doesn't matter. I don't really want that much anyway. I just want to get through life. Just want to go to work, get my little paycheck, feed my kids, you know, raise my family, and that's it. Like, they're not seeking for any type of spiritual enlightenment. They're not seeking for any type of personal development or personal achievement. They're not seeking any type of significant difference. They're not seeking to make a mark on this earth. They're not seeking to be a fix the problem type of person. Right? Some do, some don't. It's like, who knows? I don't really investigate too much in that. All I know is some people wake up and be like, one day they're like, yo, fuck this shit, yo. Nobody's better than me. No one's smarter than me. Where I'm at today is 100% the cause of my past thoughts and actions and my errors in judgment. And I'm committed to correct those errors in judgment. No matter how hard it is, I'm willing, no matter how bad it gets, I'm willing to put in the steps, to put in the action steps, to try again. One step at a time is not too difficult anyway. Right? Until I eventually reach my goal. I will reach my goal because I already know that the goal and the goal and the journey to the goal is the same thing. It's the process. It is the prize. It is God. It is success. It is wealth. It is happiness. It is abundance. To even have a definite major thing, to even have a chief aim that you're willing to accomplish and stake your entire existence on is worthy to be praised and grateful for, you see. And so God is the goal and the goal and the way to the goal, and the idea of it is all the same, you feel me? It's all one. There's no outside to it. So if you really truly genuinely believe the things that you say, what you want to have, experience, create, and all these other type of stuff, then your beliefs and your actions will have to show that. Anyway, like I said, this episode 75. If I say something that resonates with you, go ahead, type make the choice. I'm about to finish this last little paragraph or two, and then we out. But success is a process of turning away from something in order to turn towards something better. Right? So success is the process of turning away from something in order to turn towards something better. That's self-explanatory. From lethargy to exercise. From candy to fruit. From spending to investing. Right? There's three types of currencies, three major currencies: time, money, and attention. Right? Time, money, and attention are you could spend or invest time, money, and attention. When you spend something, you get its equal value or less. When you invest something, you get its equal value plus more. You see, so success is responding to an invitation to change, to an invitation to grow, to an invitation to develop, to an invitation to become. Oh yeah, family. Hey, yo, Gannon, I see you in the comments, fam. You know, it's all love. Melanin Reigns, I saw you pressing like. I see the people, you know. Like I say, if I say something that resonates with you, you can go ahead and type and make the choice. Only if you choose, and you have made the choice to take charge of your life and to, you know, manifest your personal desires. If you really serious about turning your ideas into physical things, then you can tell that I'm really serious about the same thing. and our spirit to spirit connection is more powerful than any word that I could say on any video. Okay, I'm just here to, like I say every day, we on episode 75 of Take Charge of Your Life, right? I'm at the concepts, the ideas, the strategies, the tactics, the processes that we come with every Monday through Friday. Forever. I don't know if I'm ever gonna stop, and I'll stop maybe at like episode 1000. At episode 1000, I'll stop doing Take Charge of Your Life, or something like that. Maybe I will, but maybe I won't. I most likely will never stop doing Take Charge of Your Life. You know why? Because I know where I used to be, and I know the thoughts that I used to think, and I know the information that I had to consider, in the invisible chains and the self-imposed limitations that I had to overcome, and I did it. And I changed my thoughts, and I changed my actions and my habits and my belief system, which altered my whole destiny. You know, now I'm a published author. I got a book on Amazon. I got my website's crazy. I've been on TV like 10 times. Been on the newspaper like 15 times. Been on the front page of USA Today and a whole bunch of other stuff. Right? Travel around the world, just crazy stuff that I never thought I would be doing. But I know what I did to position myself mentally, spiritually, emotionally to be able to attract and manifest and be prepared for these things when they come. So success is responding to the invitation to change, right? Success is responding to the invitation to make the choice, to grow, to develop, and to become. Success is an invitation to move up to a better place in order to gain a better vantage point. Right? Because if you're with the rats or whatever, then you can only see a rat through a rat perspective. You feel me? And rat's not that big, mouse not that big. If you don't like to think of yourself as a rat, think of yourself as another animal that just crawls on the ground. You feel me? Your vantage point, you can only see. You could whatever your little favorite animal is that just crawls on the ground. You can see, right? From that vantage point, your perspective isn't that large. You only can see like what's really right in front of you, and it's blocked, and it's illusion, because what appears to be a barrier isn't really a barrier, because it's only that high, or you could go around it, or you could, it's a whole bunch of things that's not really a barrier, but from such a low vantage point, then it is. Right, but we understand through self-development, through personal achievement, through self-mastery, through commitment to enlightenment, through commitment to self-discipline, to a commitment to having and maintaining a positive attitude, a commitment to assembling a pleasing personality, a commitment to going the extra mile and doing more service and better service than you're expected to, and doing it with a positive mental attitude and pleasing personality, and expecting to have harmony in your relationships, and all of these things are byproducts from increasing our vantage point, and not being so attached to these lower vibrational things, and stop letting our senses lie to us. You feel me? Your senses could lie to you all day. Like right now, I could, like for where I'm at right now, I could burn this sheet of paper right now, right? I could burn this sheet of paper, and then burn the sheet of paper, let it smoke a little bit, and then fan it out. Now nothing's on fire, right? But then by the time that smell gets to everyone else in the house, they're gonna run back here, like, yo, something burning? No, nothing's burning. It's their senses lied to them, right? Their senses. If they were to judge everything by their senses, then something would have been on fire. But it's clearly nothing on fire. It's your senses. Yeah, you might have smelled smoke, but that doesn't mean anything's on fire. Everything is taken care of. All is well. You see, so don't let your senses determine your thoughts, feelings, emotions, actions. You can determine that through your will, through source power, through energy, and the all good. And then anything that is outside of your realm of what success looks like for you, and the acceptance of that, then you can deny those things. People be doing affirmations all the time, but they don't know anything about denials. They'll do affirmations all the time, and then they'll affirm something all positive and great and constructive, and then their self-talk will hit in, and they don't even deny that self-talk. You gotta deny your self-talk, family. You feel me? Like you gotta. So like if you gonna say, hey, I'm wealthy, powerful, and successful, your self-talk instantly gonna tell you, no, you're not. You poor. You feel me? You weak, and you're broke. You feel, or like you're unsuccessful. And so a man can't serve two masters. So a mind can only hold one of the dominant mood of feeling is what's going to manifest the most. You see? So you have to choose. You have to decide. Like, which realm do you want to be on? Do you live in a world that's good and happy and luxurious, where people love to do business with you, and the whole universe is bending and conspiring to make you more powerful, wealthy, and successful and prosperous in every situation that's attracted that you go through is just here to teach you to turn inward and learn more about yourself, your personal power, to become, your greatest version? Do you live in that type of world, or do you live in a world that's just everyone's out to get you, everyone hates you, and everyone's mean, and you can't trust anyone, and you're always getting heartbroken, and you're always hurt, and like you never have enough? Like, you get to choose. You get to choose. You get to choose. You get to choose. How people live their life is directly related to the story that they believe about themselves. I used to live my life one way because of the story I believed about myself. Now I live my life a completely different way, and I have been for some years because of the story that I believe about myself and the deliberate changes I'm aware of. But anyway, success is that invitation to move up to a better place in order to gain a better vantage point. So who has a larger perspective? Like the mouse, that's all on the ground, or the eagle? The eagle can come right down where the mouse is at and see exactly where he's at. Can walk right on the ground if he wants to. But then he can also come high and realize, hey, that wasn't an obstacle. That wasn't an obstacle. That wasn't an obstacle. That wasn't an obstacle. I'm just flying all over it. But guess what? In order for any bird, right, in order for them to start flying or get into the air, they're going to have to flap their wings. They're going to have to flap their wings, right? It's going to have to be some little bit of effort, but once they get to a certain height, once they in the flow, then you see an eagle. If you see an eagle soaring, it's like they're not even flapping anymore. It's just, they're not even flapping. They're just soaring. They're just in the flow, and then they're just leveraging the wind. Right, but in order to get that high, they had to flap. But so in order for you to rise up, in order for you to become your greatest version, in order for you to establish new habits, in order for you to, become your, I already said that. In order for you to develop yourself fully, spiritually, mentally, emotionally, in order for you to get clear about what you want in your finances, in your relationships, in your career, in your legacy, in your recreation, and your social contribution, and these types of things, right? It's going to be some work. It's going to be some work. It's a lot of reading, it's a lot of studying, it's a lot of planning, right? But once you get there, right, you just coasting. Like me, I'm coasting. My few simple disciplines that I have to practice every day, they're already determined. Like in these needle point adjustments, anytime I make any errors, I just make a needle point adjustment and it directs me to wherever. I take full ownership of where I'm at, my responsibilities. I take full ownership of my bank account. I take full ownership about my relationships. I take full ownership about, everything. I don't have any blame to point. I don't have any excuses to make. Right? And I'm not, and especially 6 years from now, I'll be celebrating, while a lot of my peers 6 years from now, they'll be explaining why they're not doing well. Right? And I'd rather be celebrating than explaining why I'm not doing well. You see, it's King Leon X. This episode 75 of Make the Choice, or of Take Charge of Your Life. And if I say something that resonates with you, go ahead, type "Make the Choice" in the comments, family, because it's time. It's time for us to realize that all we have to do is start a new, simple discipline, and if we stay committed to that, it changes the direction of our life forever. That new simple discipline could even be, let me at least Monday through Friday tune into KLX Take Charge of Your Life. I could at least do that. That's my new simple discipline. I could at least do that. I know that he cares and he giving us his power, and he all over the world, and you feel me? And the way that he speak, it resonate with me, And that's at least a simple discipline that I could do, right? He gonna give us some ideas. He gonna give us some concepts. He gonna give us some strategies that no one else that I'm around is really gonna give me. So at least I could do that, right? Or a few simple disciplines. Walk around the block, right? You want to lose weights, or walk around the block. You don't got to start running. You don't got to jog. You don't got to do all this other shit. Walk around the block. Walk around the block. You could walk around the block. You should walk around the block. You don't walk around the block. That's going to lead to disaster. And I promise your complaints are not going to make you lose weight. You could complain all you want. And that's all that's going to do is just further solidify your conditioning, further solidify the spell that you're operating under, and then guarantee the attraction of things, more things for you to complain about. You see, I don't complain. I'll take responsibility. I understand my personal power. So I know that could read, should read, don't read led to disaster. So I decided to read. Right? I know, and when I wasn't reading, I was listening to audiobooks, and I was listening to lectures, and I was listening to a whole bunch of different shit, and I was traveling, I was going to seminars, and I was doing all these other little different things. Because, so like right now, that's why in my life I celebrate. Every day I celebrate, versus having to explain why I'm not doing well, or explain how I don't have the answers, or sit here and complain. Anytime someone complains about anything, they give their power away. I will not give my power away. Right? I control my smiles and tears, period. Success is responding to the invitation to change, to grow, and to develop. An invitation to move up to a better place in order to gain a better vantage point. But most of all, here's the most of all. 30 minutes? Okay, damn, I passed 30 minutes already. Alright, but most of all, success is making your life what you want it to be. Considering all the possibilities. Considering all the examples of those of who you admire. What do you want from your life? That is the big question. Remember, success is not a set of standards from our culture, but rather a collection of personal values clearly defined and ultimately achieved. Let me read that again. Most of all, success is making your life what you want it to be. All right, because like, yeah, you accomplished some goals. You might have graduated high school, and then you might have went to college. You might have graduated college. You might have got a master's degree. You might even got a job right now and shit. You might have got a crib and all that. And you might think of yourself successful, but I'm here to tell you that none of those things are original thought. Like, you didn't think about doing any of those things. You weren't the first person to do any of those things. None of that was original thought. That's a program that you're operating under. Period. I ain't saying there's nothing wrong with any of those things, but what have you discovered for yourself? You did all those things because you thought it was going to make you wealthy, powerful, successful. But guess what? Over 75% of self-made millionaires in America never even went to college. That's 3 out of 4 self-made millionaires never went to college. There's 10 million self-made millionaires in America. Over 60% of them are almost 70% of them are first generation, which means that they was born in modest means. They was born in almost poverty. In one lifetime, they made a decision to go from generational poverty to generational wealth in one lifetime. I'm here to tell you that they had definiteness of purpose and clarity, and they made life what they wanted it to be. I make my life what I want it to be. People could, I make my life what I want it to be. I decided in 2012, 2013, who I wanted to be, what I want to experience, what I want to have, what do I want people to say about me. What type of value would I be bringing to the marketplace? Am I willing to pay the price and pay the cost to be the type of boss I wanted to be? I decided what does success look like for me. And considering everything I did. But what do I want from my life? I wanted from my life some significance and some value, and people to be inspired, to learn more, dream more, do more, travel more, experience more, become more. I'm my example, and I know for a fact that my example inspires internet, millions of people all around the world to learn more, do more, dream more, become more. I got thousands of videos on the internet floating around. Thousands on endless accounts. Endless accounts and endless platforms. And remember, success is not a set of standards from our culture. Our culture is just going to tell you success has to do with money. Success has to do with material things. I'm here to tell you, you can gain all the money you want and all the material things that you want, but it's not that don't equal success. Right? And because you're always still going to want more unless you realize that where your help comes from and where that flow is, where your power really is. Unless you got that relationship with yourself, with your higher self, and you ended that civil war and that conflict between your subconscious mind and your conscious mind. And when you got your mental, your spirit, and your emotions in order to clearly create a deliberate physical world, So if you define success from our culture, you're going to be looking on TV and you're going to be trying to copy make-believe lives and shit. Everything that you want, probably you see somebody on TV with it, and it's a status symbol. So you could flex on people, so people could think about you in a certain way because of what you have, right? Or what you appear to have. But these things are temporal. The things that are seen are temporal. They're temporary. What we want, yes, we want the accumulation of all the material riches of our own choice and quantity. But what we want more is peace of mind and freedom from fear and a labor of love and harmony in our relationships. We want sound health, right? We want the wisdom to understand people. We want the willingness to share our blessings with others. It's not about just accumulating. What's the purpose? You can personally achieve all you want, but what's the purpose? What's the purpose, though? What's the significant difference that you intend for these results to manifest? I talk to a whole bunch of old heads. I talk to my pops. This nigga don't give a fuck. You get all this shit. Old heads don't really care. They're like, hey, I'm not in poverty. You feel me? And I'm not a slave. That's how old heads think. I'm not in poverty. I'm not a slave. They don't really care about social contribution or significance. They really don't. Because I guess life was so hard when they grew up. I guess it was really, really that bad, like niggas could get killed instantly for being black. But I'm trying to tell you that in 2017, it's still the same. So you're not going to find no old heads. You ain't going to find no 50-year-olds or 60 or 40-year-olds or people, goddamn, that really keeping the fight alive or really taking charge of their life. You're going to find maybe 3% of them or 1% of them. All of them is just doing what their parents told them, which is, go get a good job. Get a good education and so you can get a good job. Who told them that? Their grandparents or their parents. And who couldn't get jobs. Who worked for free. Who was fucking slaves. They were slaves and sharecroppers. So the advice that your parents gave you, they got from their parents. But the advice that your grandparents got, they got from their parents who were slaves. Listen. Listen. I'm not about to sell y'all on the wrong plan, family. I ain't sold on the wrong plan. I know exactly what we doing. I know exactly where we going. Alright, I know exactly what it takes. I know exactly what the strategies. I know exactly the thoughts to think. You feel me? I know the exact difference between wrong thought, positive thinking, and right thinking. You feel me? I've done the work internally for some years, and I'm here to guide and assist us now and represent an example of the limitless possibilities of our future. And I promise I'll never turn on y'all, and I'll never turn on myself. Success is not a set of standards from our culture, but it's rather a collection of personal values clearly defined and ultimately achieved. This values clearly defined and ultimately achieved. It's like your beliefs. You gotta radiate those beliefs. If you really, really, really believe it, then why your actions don't look like it? You see, why your actions don't follow that? Because you don't really believe it. You just saying some shit that you heard someone else say. You feel me? So what I'm here to do, because like I said, I really do this. I really like personal achievement is my thing. Personal development. Like the book that we reading from. This is why I wanted. This book don't even got a top on it no more. But 7 Strategies for Wealth and Happiness. This is what we reading now though. Leaders and readers. You feel me? Like we all like. Don't worry. I'm giving y'all this whole juice, but I got 70 plus episodes. 60 plus episodes where I wasn't even reading out of notebooks. You feel me? I was going out of my old notebooks and concepts and strategies. But I promise every day, Monday through Friday, I got at least 15 minutes to an hour of power for y'all. It all depends on, how I be feeling with it. But let me read this last paragraph, yo. And then I'm going to go. But success is not a set of standards from our culture, but rather a collection of personal values, clearly defined and ultimately achieved. You can't achieve a goal that you don't have. This is what I'm saying. People don't like setting clear, specific, long-term, short-term goals because they like to live in this illusion of like achievement and success, but they're not accomplishing anything of significance. And they don't have to because they don't like to put that type of pressure on themselves. They don't like I don't know. They don't like expanding, I guess. But like I said, some people do, some people don't. Some plants grow fruit that we can eat. Some plants grow fruit that's poisonous. You feel me? Some trees grow to 100 feet. Some don't. You feel me? Some trees have fruit and vegetables on it. Some don't. Some people's gonna make their dreams come true, or at least try. Some don't. Some people gonna become meaningful specifics. Some don't. Hey, that's the best as I got. Making your life what you want it to be for you. That is success. Right? Success is making your life what you want it to be for you. But how does one go about doing that? That's precisely what Take Charge of Your Life is about. This is precisely what, this book is about. When we're starting tomorrow on Unleash the Power of Goals. There's plenty of times where we're talking about goals, goal setting, achievement, and these different types of stuff. But Jim Rohn's America's foremost business philosopher. He passed in 2009. And, he's been one of my favorite people to study. His story is very captivating, and the way that he explains things is very, very simple. It's very simple. He was a farm boy from Idaho. So the only skill that he had was milking cows, and he said that didn't pay much. Right? And he went to 1 year of college, and then he dropped out of college because he said, if I'm smart enough to get a job, hey, what do I need school for? So he got a job, and then 6 years of him working, he was married. He had a daughter, and a little Girl Scout came to his house and asked him, she was trying to sell him Girl Scout cookies. She had a little perfect pitch, and he wanted to buy. And the only problem was he didn't have the $2. He ain't had $2. He ain't had $2 to get the Girl Scout cookies. So he lied to her. He told her, hey, Girl Scout, hey, man, thank you. I love Girl Scout cookies. We support them all the time. I still got so many boxes of Girl Scout cookies in the freezer and the cabinet we haven't even opened yet. Right? He closed the door. He's like, damn, I'm lying to Girl Scouts now. He's like, I never want to do that again. Right? Like, that's crazy. I never want to feel this way again. That's what he said. And he was disgusted with himself. And then shortly after that, he met a teacher or a mentor, someone to guide him and assist him and correct him in his errors of judgment. And then he realized the reason he wasn't doing well is because his blame list. He was blaming the economy. He was blaming the government. He was blaming the negative relatives. He was blaming cynical neighbors. He was blaming the weather. He was blaming all of these other things outside of himself. And then he realized that if he wanted things to change, he had to change. And then he crossed out that whole list and he made him a new list and he just put himself on it. And he began to, and in the next 6 years, he got rich. The next 6 years, you know, he was at age 26, 25, he had pennies in his pocket. By the time he was 32, he was a multimillionaire, right? Just by a few simple disciplines, right? And that's that type of story, people from poverty to power, from, accumulation of wealth. These are the type of stories and people that I've investigated for the past 5 years. Endless, thousands of them. And it's like, there's 10 million millionaires in America. There's 536 billionaires in America. Listen, there's 1,800 billionaires in the world, and 600 of them is in America. Come on, family. Like, it's just a few simple disciplines that we have to practice on a daily basis to accomplish everything that we ever want to accomplish. Like, we can unlock the foundation of prosperity within us. We can unleash the power of goals. We can learn how to seek the right knowledge. We can learn and benefit and profit from the miracle of personal development. We could control our finances and master our time and really live well. This is where I'm at. I'm at the learning the art of living well, family. Like, this is what I do. Like, for real. The last 2 years, I've been in 100-something cities. You feel me? Take charge of your life. This is episode 70-something. We already did take charge of your life in over like 7 or 8 states. You feel me? Over 30 cities. Like, damn. Or like 20 cities. Out of 75 episodes, we've been in 20 cities already. 30 cities doing them. So, this is what I'm saying. I'll never stop doing Take Charge of Your Life videos. Sometimes I'll give y'all 15 minutes. Sometimes I'll give y'all an hour. But no matter what, it's going to be power. Even when I don't feel like it, I'm doing these joints, family. It doesn't matter. You know why? It's because 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 20 years from now, 100 years from now, when they say, yo, this nigga King Leon X, the most powerful, wealthiest, influential black man that ever existed, because of these results that he produced, then I want y'all to know that it wasn't luck, that I planted seeds, that I told y'all time after time after time after time and after time again. When I die and everyone that knows me dies, you feel me? I would have done something significant and made a mark on the planet which allowed me to live forever. You feel me? Because I can, right? That's what success looks like for me. You feel me? And the process and journey of that. Because I can. I know what results are expected to be called the most powerful, wealthiest, influential black man of the 21st century. So if I've already committed to be willing to produce those types of results, then I would be doing myself a disservice for anything else. Anything else would be unacceptable. So I know I've been granted sufficient days to reach all of my goals. You feel me? And I know that the goal and the dream and the process is all the same. The accomplishment of my goals and dreams is me right now. And you know what I mean? And so we'll never stop documenting. We will never stop documenting and sharing information with people who care, right? And people who don't even know that they care yet, right? But other than that, family, remember, the difference between those who succeed and those who fail lies in the difference of their habits. Good habits are the key to all success, while bad habits are the unlocked door to failure. Bad habits are the unlocked door to failure, family. Good habits are the key to all success. Failure is a few errors in judgment repeated every day. Success is practicing a few simple disciplines every day. You get to choose. Alright? It's King Leon X, the human liberator, telling y'all to make the choice. Right? If you're born poor, it's not your fault. But if you die poor, it's your fault. If you're born ignorant, it's not your fault. Like, if you're born in a family full of ignorance, it's your fault. But if you die and your family's still ignorant, it's your fault. If you were born with no respect on your last name, but you die with no respect on your last name, it's your fault. You're born with no respect on your last name, it's not your fault. But if you die with no respect on your last name, it's your fault. If you're born to nobody, it's not your fault. If you die in nobody, it's your fault. That's what I'm here to say. Especially in America. Especially in America, family. I just watched a documentary the other day about some third world children, shit crazy, all in Indonesia and Bangladesh and all that. God damn. It's 20 million people about to starve at the death right now. Today, it's 20 million people on the breaking point of starving to death. Damn. Could you imagine how painful starving to death would be? Or dying from thirst? Shit. Let me see. So this is why I'm grateful. I stay grateful. And I stay active, you know. And I stay present. And I stay aware of breath. And I stay aware of the can-do portion of all of my problems. I focus on the can-do portion of all of my problems. I'm a solution provider. You feel me? I can, I will, I must make my dreams come true. I don't got no rah motivation for you. I got some real strategies. I got some real concepts. I got some real tactics for you to consider. I got a new philosophy for you. Your philosophy is going to determine the major determining factor of how your life turns out. And I'm here to tell you that you could be sophisticated all you want, and you could expand your knowledge all you want. But if you don't learn the art of the art of living well, millionaires and billionaires die every day, family. I'm giving y'all what I was given, which was the major key. You feel me? The master key. Right? And it's evident. The truth is self-evident. The truth and the proof is self-evident. You feel me? Yeah, Frederick Douglass, yeah, you can, you will, right? I can, I will. I can, I will, I must. You feel me? I can change my life. I will change my life. I must change my life. You feel me? I can become my greatest version. I will become my greatest version. I must become my greatest version. I can make my dreams come true. I must make my dreams come true. Right? I will make my dreams come true no matter what. No matter how hard it is. No matter how bad it gets. I'm going to make it. You feel me? You know why? Because one step at a time is not too difficult. One day at a time is not too difficult. One few simple disciplines practiced every day is not too difficult. One discipline at a time is not too difficult. It's not. It's not. It's King Leon X. Just like, come on, one day at a time. Like, listen, I ain't never locking my hair. I ain't never cutting it. Listen, my joint is. We talk about self-discipline. Look, I'm still holding on to my hair right here. Like, look. You know how long I've been taking care of this? Like 2 years. You know how much I've grown and developed since I turned inward and I started just stepping outside of the realm of other people's authority. I'm real clear about what I'm doing. And I want you to be clear about what you're doing. And if you're not clear, if you're unclear, and you need some guidance and assistance, reach out. I got some shit that I could plug you into. And we could work together to live the good life. This King Leon X. I see to make the choices coming in. We don't have to, we choose to. You feel me? We choose to. We choose to. We get to, matter of fact. I remember when I remember when it wasn't available for us to, for me to, like, I would just make videos to myself, and then I would just look at myself and make self-cam videos, and then post it and hope people watch it. Now I could just record it live, right? I'm still doing the same thing, but at least people is watching it while I'm making it. You know what I mean? That's crazy. All right, and so I'm grateful for these types of opportunities to be able to commune with my family, right? To be able to commune with my family. Like, I love people who care about themselves. And people who don't care about themselves, I speak to the part of them that does, to make them consider some things that they might not have considered in a long time. Some truths. And we live a really fulfilled life, and we want to bring you along the journey. If you trust me, I can definitely drop some programs on you and assist you you know, making your first million and all of that, and traveling the world together and fixing shit and building institutions, 100-year plans, birthing children to fill them, to finish. Yeah. Y'all hit me up if y'all interested. Other than that, stay grateful.